Step right up and join the most vibrant circus community in the world, circustalk.com. This is In Center Ring. I'm your host, Jonathan Lee Iverson. When one of the circus world's most innovative minds partners with an ensemble of extraordinary women, a celebration of stellar artistry and imagination ensues. In Center Ring presents the cast of The Crown.
It is really Black History Month, people. I am welcoming the cast of The Crown, and I'm surrounded by queens, surrounded by circus queens, and I love it. All this talent on this Zoom, we may actually go out or something. I don't know what happened, but I'm so happy to see all of you. This is an all-star event. This is a huge all-star event. All of you are so fabulously accomplished in your own right. And so we're just going to throw that fastball first and foremost to the one who started all this trouble, the one and only Veronica Blair. I need to know what inspired this Veronica Blair. What inspired The Crown?
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for having us. This is so exciting. So The Crown came about because I was a recipient of a grant from Little Boxes Theater, Project Open Box. And so basically the grant was given out to artists during COVID to enable us to continue to create work. So I got this money and I was like, whoa, I'll make a super fancy, highly edited video of myself doing Ariel. And then I thought about that and I was like, no, I wouldn't be happy doing that. And it's been done. We've seen many highly edited, super fancy, edgy Ariel videos. And so I got this idea that I wanted to do a showcase featuring Black female circus performers. And so I called up the nearest Black female circus performers that I knew.
Yeah, they were just walking around, flying around.
And they were just walking around doing nothing. And I was like, I really want to do a project that features your work. And I have this idea to bring the work of each individual together in a way that would tell a story. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but are you on board? And luckily everyone was like, yeah, that sounds good, Veronica.
I'm just shocked you were able to get all these very busy women, because it's not like you all weren't doing anything. I mean, especially that troublemaker over there, Miss Stiletto, who's like always in my timeline somewhere on social media. She's like you're becoming like the Barbara Walters of circus media, because I'm like seeing you everywhere, and got the audacity to be performing too. I mean, she just finished the show. Is it Babylon Cabaret? I was like, this is something else. You over there misbehaving and everything. I love it. And all of you have been busy. I know, Darielle, you did a showcase back in December. That was wonderful. And of course, Susan Wojcicki, you did what was it, Dances and Circus back in November?
Yes, that was Dance and Circus for All with Carolyn Kalush and Company.
There you go. I just had the pleasure of now meeting the wonderful Copper Santiago, who, in my ignorance, I thought, oh, she's a nice little juggler. No, she Diablos and Ariel and all this. If you sing, we're going to have problems. This is wonderful. So, I mean, what made you, Darielle, just say, you know what, I'm going to stop doing the 5,000 things I'm doing. I'm going to join the sister in her quest for the crown?
I mean, it wasn't a hard decision to make. I had already made the routine in quarantine, and it kind of, what she wanted to create already fit in alignment with what this piece was about, and my thoughts and feelings behind it. It was already like built into what she was trying to create. So it was a no-brainer for me.
And I wouldn't call that a no-brainer, because I enjoyed your piece very much a few times. The artistry, the artistry. It is so amazing, man. I was like, wow. Because look, you're a star, okay? So she's been with, I mean, you've been on tour with like everybody, you know, and now she's on Disney Plus and The Little Mermaid and all. I'm like, you know, you think you know people, and then it's like, wow, you know. And there you are, Miss Wojcicki, in the air, on the ground, doing something, causing some kind of trouble, some kind of ruckus. How are you? What were you up to before you got the call?
Well, Veronica and I go way, way back. So it really didn't matter what she asked me to do. I would always say, I'm on board. Because when Veronica calls, you just say, okay, just tell me where you want me to be and what you want me to do, and we'll make it happen.
I like that. We're going to have to get you like one of those big old rings or something.
A cerso, maybe?
Oh, yes. I love it. And what about you, Miss Santiago? Now, what part of the world are you in?
I'm in Vienna, Austria right now.
You know what? You up here being a trooper. This is amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you're not up too late.
Yeah, this is great. I'm used to having Zoom meetings from the East Coast and from the US in general.
What is the state of the circus arts where you're at as opposed to here?
Well, Austria is in hard lockdown, so nothing is happening. Stores just opened last week, so you couldn't even like go shopping for like clothes or something. It was just food and booze that you could buy. So circus is not happening right now unless people have spots in their homes. Yeah, that's Vienna.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for your contribution. I enjoyed your act. And I must also say this wonderful piece features the dynamic Summer Lacey, who wasn't able to join us. She's probably off flying somewhere. See, you had to miss one because these are some really busy women. Right, Miss Stiletto? I'm going to count down like the stuff you're doing. Live like an acrobat. Think like an acrobat on Circus Talk. You're doing cabarets and burlesque cabarets, which are my favorite. And you're all up in my social media, like constantly. It's not like I'm following you, which I am, but you're there. Always. Tell us how in the world did you have time to breathe to even attempt to do something else?
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having us and for hosting this, Jonathan. This is really beautiful to be here with all of these beautiful women. I'm so grateful for this time. I'm so grateful for Veronica. And again, this is something to make time for. It's exquisite. I'm so grateful to be a part of such a beautiful showcase and feature. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't have imagined. So not even just that long ago, being a part of something so amazing, and with an all-Black feature of beautiful Black women. So I think that this is just a remarkable time, and everyone has so many incredible projects happening and going on. So I just think that the level of creativity is just so exponential, and it just continues to inspire me to do more. So thank you to all of the beautiful ladies, and to you, Jonathan, and to you, Veronica. Thank you so much for just continuing to inspire us to all just be more. So yeah,
I dig it, because I think this pandemic has been sort of a gift in that we've had a stretch. I remember, Shanae, you telling me how you really just bit down and said, what, I'm going to do my podcast finally, because we're in this pandemic. You say, if not now, when? And of course, Veronica, you're coming on the heels of the Uncle Junior project, which has been lighting up the World Wide Web. I don't care what anybody says. I love it. It's beautiful. It is wonderful. It's such the timing couldn't be more perfect, right?
It's interesting because one of the questions I got recently about the Uncle Junior project was, has there been sustained interest in the project? And this was, I released, keep in mind that I actually released relaunched the project in June of last year. So it's only been about 6 months. So that question was a little bit surprising, but I think that people, it's great that all people are paying attention and want to be more diverse and inclusive at this point. But we also have to remember that these things have been happening. It's a combination of things that have been happening over time. And now it seems like boom, but this has really been brewing and cooking for many years. Like Uncle Junior Project has been in the works for 10 years. It didn't just come out of Black Lives Matter or come out of nowhere. It's been actually it's been brewing for a while. And even though last year I got this grant from Little Boxes Theater to do this piece, this presentation, The Crown, has been brewing for years. I mean, the talent that is included in this film, this is something that each individual artist they've been honing their skills, they've been performing all over the world, they have been perfecting their art and really working on themselves and what it is that they want to communicate, what it is that they want to say on stage. And so it is amazing. Like when I sit back and I watch the finished product, it is really amazing to see the different voices represented. And it is so beautiful and amazing. And I'm like super excited to be amongst this group of women. And again, this isn't new things. This is just now everybody's ready to listen, everybody's ready to hear, everybody's ready to see. And now everyone gets to see what has been brewing, what has been happening over the past few years. So it's very exciting.
One of the wonderful things I like about everyone's story, mostly everyone's story, is there's always these interesting transitions. I remember speaking with you, Susan, and you were telling me, the wonderful challenges you had with your parents going from medicine into circus, or with Shania, you going from being this, I don't know, just a multi-champion, and Hall of Famer and all that. You went and did this little circus thing. And I'm reading about you, Darielle. You're a dancer and you made that transition. What is that like just as artists? And I guess, just full human beings, what is that like to, make that transition to circus? Because as we know, circus isn't a backup plan. So, I mean, what is this that would make you all you're already in a challenger world anyway. Y'all are Black women. So whatever you would have chose, you're going to have problems to deal with. So you say, let me do circus. Let me pile something extra on what I got going.
Well, that's the cool thing about circus, is that it allows you to use all of your skills in one medium and just stretch yourself in ways that you couldn't before with the one thing you were doing before. Suddenly you realize, oh, wait, I could now add my dance and my aerial and my gymnastics background and my little tumbling background and I'm learning new skills. Now I'm stilt walking. Now I'm doing fire. Now I'm like, suddenly this whole new world opens up to you and you're like, I kind of like this. This is addictive. And, it expands your way of expressing yourself too,
What does it do for you to know, like, at least for this moment in time, you do have complete artistic autonomy in many respects?
Yeah, that's especially true for me right now because I'm back in circus school. I'm enrolled in Circadium in Philadelphia. And so I really have the artistic freedom to take risks and to present myself the way that I want to. And that's what I love about circus, is it is like historically a gathering of others. And so I'm also enrolled in art school. I'm getting my BFA in fiber arts online, which is great, like they complement each other really well. And yeah, I can't imagine doing anything but circus.
Susan, you took that leap. You went toe to toe with your parents, but you did it. And now you're singing in the air, which pisses me off, as you know. We have problems. We got beef.
Hey, I'm happy to do a duet with you, Jonathan.
Not with you up in the air, because that just upstages me. Because
No, your voice is so beautiful.
My ego, ringmasters that ego, because I don't do nothing else. That's all I got is nice clothes and a voice.
I think it would be a beautiful duet.
I do too. I really do. But I would love for you to share with us. I mean, just the daring in your artistic journey. I think there's a lot of daring that goes into that. Knowing what you're going to face, just living. So you're just living in this shell, but then to add this thing onto it called circus, which is already is the outsider of all arts for some reason, even though everybody eats off circus's plate, but it's sort of like the outside of the arts. What is that like to take that journey?
It's a strange and fascinating journey. And I think to all of us who are in it, we understand that we didn't run away to join the circus. The circus called to us, and we found a home there. And we found a home where we could be accepted, where we could make our art, and where we could grow and thrive as human beings. And this is also really what the film is about, is how we've all grown, and the growth of this person, it's incredibly liberating to be your true self and to be in a community that accepts you. And I can only hope that everyone finds that sort of acceptance in the world.
I love it. Miss Stiletto, please, your thoughts, world champion, Hall of Famer. And you really play, I love how you try to play humble with me, but, I do my work. Because I don't know anybody who is in 2 Hall of Fames. You're not even 40. Like, how you in 2 Hall of Fames?
Well, this is 17 years into my circus career, my full circus career, because I was doing circus before that when I was competing, and so this is 17 years, and it is such a journey, and it is such an evolution of being a woman and the different stages of your career and what that looks like. And I love what Veronica sought to do in looking at the different stages and the evolution of our womanity, which I love to call it, and integrating, those elements and what you so beautifully always speak to, Jonathan, which is so important in showing people the humanity of Black women, of women of color, and how we move and how we act and how we project and how we create. And I find so much freedom in this realm, and I've constantly taken that freedom as much as I possibly can throughout these 17 years, and working and performing with people that also too want to elevate that uniqueness that you feel within you and see how you can kind of project that into different spaces, I think is such a valuable thing. I'm so grateful for it. Like I said, I think so many of us a part of this are really in our prime, and I think that there's something to really respect that in terms of maturity. We have the beautiful, I would say the innocence of Copper, coming into her own and finding that. And I've been at that stage in my career too. And then seeing all of us in these stages, which I'm so grateful to say it's my prime. I'm so grateful to see myself experiencing this in circus and not on the outside looking in after I've maybe retired, and seeing something of this nature come together and not being able to be a part of it. So I can't say how grateful enough I am. And I also want to say, even just about my performance in here, I shot it after I healed from COVID. And that was a really kind of interesting thing to get back and be physical again after that. So it kind of speaks to this time too. And we're all dealing with so many different dynamics of the world and how it's impacted our art. And you'll see, the expression of that in this performance, because I was so grateful to be performing in this performance and getting my health back and feeling good. And I'm a little bit thinner than I usually am in the film, because I didn't eat for quite some time being sick, but I rejuvenated, and thank God, because then I was able to be a part of something so beautiful at such a time in my career that I wouldn't have expected that. So
I just need to say, Shanae, thank you so much for allowing me to use your work in this film. I didn't know any of that, and I just hearing you speak, I just so much admiration for you. You are just incredible, and I'm just that really touched me to know that you had just went through all of that, and here I am just emailing you at the 23rd hour. Do you want to be in this film project? And you being like, yes. So like, much respect to you, much love to you, and wow, thank you so much.
But how can anybody know? She's everywhere. She's
She's
everywhere.
everywhere.
You know, I mean, you touched on something that I think is so essential, and I think specifically to women, and most particularly to Black women in many respects. I heard somebody on a panel, and he made an interesting point. He was like, you know, Black women, especially in America, aren't permitted their femininity. You know, I mean, and when I see you all perform, and I always say this really about women in the circus period, but seeing women in the circus perform is really an exhilarating thing, because you get like this entire, it's like seeing, and look, I'm a guy, but I'm saying it from my own limited perspective. So forgive me if, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like with each of the performances I watch, it's like there's a freedom in your presentation. Like there's a complete ownership that, you know, it's wonderful to see. I mean, it's just like unabashed, unapologetic. It's as sensual as it is powerful. You know, it's brilliant and artistic and all those things all wrapped in one. I'm like, man, this is like complete woman. And then, you got, look, I'm sorry, you throw that color on there, it just makes it so much better. And I'm going to pick on you. I'm going to pick on you, Miss Williams. I have to, because that was one of my favorite highlights. I'll just say it right here in public.
Oh, good. I'm glad you called me out. No, femininity was a major thing behind creating that act, because I had done aerial pole before, you know, and the past couple of years I've been casted in very kind of masculine roles. You know, for some reason they think because Black woman, she can't be the lead of the show, but she can be one of the boys. She's strong, so she can be acrobatic. She can do these things, you know, she can bass, she can do all these other things, but I'm never given that, like, I wouldn't say never, but recently I feel like it's been a while since I've been given like a feminine role where I can just be beautiful and be me. Another thing about aerial pole is, you know, it tends to be like, a derivative of Chinese pole. It's covered up, you're wearing lots of clothes, you're sliding, you're doing all these different things. But it also comes from pole dancing, where you're wearing less clothes and you use your skin to stick to the pole and everything like that. And you know, some people felt like, you know, pole dancing is sexual. And I feel like it's so acrobatic and it's so artistic. Nothing's wrong with being sexual. I'm all about it, but it can be so much more as well too. You know, it can be other things. It can be whatever you make it. And so, you know, part of that piece was all about like showcasing what your body can do, wearing a two-piece on a shiny pole and not being a stripper, which again, nothing is wrong with being a stripper. I have many stripper friends, and doing something else with it. You know, I was inspired by the song, and the female voices, and, you know, I wanted to put my little Black woman Caribbean spice on it, and I just
it all came across. and then I realized we may be cousins, because Trinidad Tobago.
Yes.
my daddy was from Trinidad Tobago.
Nice.
I know my people. I said, wait a minute, those hips. I'm going, I've seen that before. I can't put my finger on it. And then I read your bio and said, all right, I really hope we're not cousins. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be too disappointed if we are. And I think that's what I loved about you all's performances in here. You know, I mean, Summer Lacey's was very powerful. It was just like, it was just like bang, you know, it was power. And it was so beautiful following you, Copper. I mean, because it was this it was like this fantastic, I don't know how to express it, but there was this just powerful innocence about your performance. And just, juggling like that, and the falls and everything. I was like, because it seemed like a bit of clowning. Do you do some clowning as well? Because like you just had so many parts happening in that.
Yeah, I mean, I've studied clown. I wouldn't call myself a clown,
Okay.
but I think clowning is beautiful. Important work. I think character work, I think I do a little bit more. But I wanted to speak also to what Dari was saying, and connect back to what you were saying earlier, Jonathan, around Black women not always allowed to be beautiful and like expected to be strong. It's like, well, we can be strong, but like, don't put that on us. Like, there's more there, and I'm strong. And also, like, the importance of having a Black body on stage, especially as a woman, and like having ownership over it, and the amount of control that you see in doing circus. It's like, I live in my body and it's mine and it's not yours. And having that to share, and I'm not finding all the words for it, but like, yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about performance is you're so alive and you're so there in your body. Everyone can see it. And when you're doing something as amazing as circus, it like takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. Now, Miss Wojcicki, even though we have beef about you singing in the air, it is quite original. It is quite beautiful. I mean, and I've watched that act over and over again because we spoke previously, and it's an extraordinary act. It's an extraordinary act, and there is something so ethereal about you up there doing that. I mean, it's heavenly to watch. Tell me more about it, Susan, what that piece, I mean, just putting it together. I love when we spoke about it before. We didn't really put everything in the last episode, but I just really love what you were talking about and just coming together, putting that piece together, creating it from the bottom up.
Thank you. I love the piece as well. I made the piece when I went to circus school, and I really wanted to capture both feminine force and fragility. And I made the piece as a vehicle for people to experience freedom, right? Essentially abandon, when you abandon yourself to something, and also the sense of not being abandoned, so you have to take up arms for whatever cause you have in your heart. So in that way, I feel that Veronica got it exactly right to put in this film that the goal here is liberation. And how can I find that through the self? And that doesn't mean that you have to give up who you are. Like, you shouldn't stop being a woman. You can still be strong and be a woman. You can still be feminine. You can still be vulnerable. In fact, it's important to be vulnerable. And for me, that's a lot of what The Voice does, is it shows you I'm not some superhuman spandex circus star that never fails. I'm just another person, and I'm just trying to reach other people.
Oh my God. Okay, see, y'all ain't gonna tear me up. It's not happening.
We can do it yet. I believe in you.
And I like you, rounding off to my friend over there, Miss Stiletto, and your hand balancing act. Tell me about what it is for you putting your pieces together, because you really have such a passion for what you do. You're teaching it. I mean, again, stalking you online, so I know these things. It's great. What is that like for you?
I love a dynamic hand balancing act. I've always wanted, that was always my goal and my intention in coming into hand balancing and making it something all of my own and putting high heels on it and making it this type of sexual, sensual, kind of glorified feminine experience. And it goes back to what we're all saying, is because I've been told many times that I do not look like a woman, that I am not feminine, by those that can only see me in limited terms. And I've always gone forcibly in that way to express those sides of myself as a Black woman. And it's always been so incredibly important to me, because when anyone tells me something that I cannot do, and I think for all Black women being told that you cannot be this and you cannot do that, it makes you want to double down and find how you express it even more. And I've always had that element of sensuality in me, which I always found really fascinating when people didn't see it in me, because I felt it myself, and so it's always something that I've kind of like, you know, wanted to satiate, like all over anything that I did, so that my goddessness, so that my overt femininity on the stage, which it is overt, and that's the beauty of circus and performance and character, and inspiring that in a practical way for women in their daily lives to be your own version of a hand balancer wearing stilettos and a you know, and I usually perform even on top of a very giant stiletto. I wish that I also could have brought that to this performance, but during these times I couldn't. I'm sorry, but maybe in the future when we have our showcase and we're able to be in a live realm again with live performances, so that we can have a live engaged audience to see a showcase of this nature, which has not been done before, which again, I will say, this is so special. This is so powerful, what Veronica's doing, and seeing Black talent and the uniqueness of our mediums, because we have brought such uniqueness to hand balancing, or to hand balancing, to the different disciplines that we are all a part of, so that it's not just the same old thing that you're used to seeing, and lifting that up and celebrating that. And you can do the discipline that you do, you can do it any way that you want. And I think that's very important for the circus community to remember, for younger girls of color in this industry, in this business, and circus performers just in general, to know that you can bring your own original essence to anything that you're doing, in your own unique way.
Oh, I like that. I like that, because I just saw that collective head nod when you were saying how, you know, your career has been rife with people basically, you know, just trying to define you in some other kind of body. You're not feminine enough or whatever, according to some wild standards. Darielle pointed out the fact that, you know, most of the shows she's been in, they're always casting her as kind of this masculine figure. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what their taste in women is or is not. I don't know who the hell did that. And I mean, I don't get it, because I didn't see any of that in his performance. And believe me, I saw that performance quite a few times. I will see it a few more times. Hallelujah. And so we're here with you, our wonderful producer, who is not just a producer anymore. You're an actress. You're an actress. Now, we know you're a renowned aerialist as well, but you were putting on your acting chops, drowning in water. So, I mean, you know, correct me, because I was like, man, this is deep. So these were basically icons of your imagination or of your personhood who were being expressed throughout, because that's the idea.
Yes.
I love that you look good on camera. You look good on camera. I know you've been working behind the scenes, but like, this is better than what Diddy used to do. You know, like, you really like,
take that.
all in the video.
No, all in the video. I really, to answer that, to talk to that point, I really saw myself as again, when I got the grant, I could have made a highly edited, you know, video featuring myself, but that just, honestly, that didn't, my heart, that didn't like light the fire in me. Like, building a digital platform for the women that are featured in this film was like, is way more in lines of like who I am, and like what I think we need in circus here in America at this point in time. And for me, being in an acting role was definitely that was a challenge. It wasn't like, okay, well, I'm gonna put myself in this bathtub. I did do that, you guys don't see all of the outtakes where I'm just like gagging and like snot is running down my running out of my nose. But that was a challenge as well, and that was something that I had to rise to the occasion to do. To be, you know, those chains were. I was actually chained up. Like I had one of the guys working behind the scenes wrap me up in the chains. I was actually submerged in water. I actually had to go through the emotions or feel the emotions of what I wanted to convey, because there's no spoken word. So it was a bit of a challenge of me. And here I'm a person that I went to acting school as a child, but most of my physical acting experience and education has come from circus clowns. So here I am chained up in the bathtub, like, so it's just like, it was definitely an experience for me. And a lot of, I keep hearing, well, where's your act in the film? I didn't really feel like it was appropriate. And I felt like you see me throughout the film. And I think that is enough. This again is more about presenting different aspects of the Black female experience. This is about creating a platform for other female artists to be seen. In this piece, you will not see one performance. Like, there's not a piece in this film that you've seen before. So you've seen pole before, you've seen hand balancing, you've seen juggling before, you've seen a swinging trapeze act, but you have never seen a swinging cerceau act with someone singing. So I feel like this is just amazing. I feel like it's strong as it is. So yeah, that's all I have to say about it. I'm excited. I'm just excited for everyone to see it.
No, and you should be. I want everybody to see it. Please tell us where it's going to be featured, where it's making its premiere. It's February 19th. Is that correct?
Yes. So the Crown premieres February 19th on YouTube. So you can go to my YouTube channel, Veronica Blair, and you can actually set a reminder for it. You can also follow the link in my bio on Instagram, and it'll take you directly to the page. You can set a reminder, or just follow or subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you'll be able to see it. It premieres at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so you can do the math on wherever you live in the world of when it premieres. But after it premieres on YouTube, you'll be able to join all of us for a talk via Zoom, where you guys can ask your questions and hopefully get some answers after the premiere. So yeah.
I like it. I love it. Oh my goodness. I hope everybody tunes in, especially for the talk. I want people to tune in for that. I was blessed to get a preview of it. I felt so important. She said, "Would you like to see it first?" I was like, "All right, yeah." Like I had an inside look, and I really enjoyed it. I was like, "This is so powerful," just to see you all showcase the way you were doing your thing. I just think this will have a greater reach than you can possibly imagine. I mean, I just absolutely loved it. The artistry is on fleek, as the kids would say.
Is that what the kids are saying?
It's on fleek. That's on fleek. My kid said that to me, and I was like, "Did you just curse at me?" "No, Daddy, it was fleek. It's a thing." So yeah, that means it's really amazing. It's
I think there's something in this. Literally, there's something in this film for everyone. This speaks to your soul. It speaks to whatever journey you may be on. This speaks to if you just want to watch something and see some good artists. It speaks to if you just want to see how what's possible in the digital realm with circus. How can we combine storytelling and circus? How can we elevate circus? How can we create circus during a time where we are not allowed to perform or create in live venues? So there's really something for everyone in this film.
Fortunately, when we're all permitted to go out and play again, you all will really be ahead of the game. And I definitely think circus as it is now will change dramatically, and for good reason. And I think you all will be the leaders of that. I think this is so timely. I mean, on the heels of, I don't care what anybody's politics may be, but on the heels of our first female vice president, who's a woman of color. And I mean, I think universally everybody was knocked out cold by that wonderful poet, Amanda Gorman. I mean, 2222, can you imagine that? And to see you ladies out here just electrifying my screen almost get me in trouble. And, it's worth it. I'll tell you, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's wonderful. I want to know what's coming up for each of you. What's coming up for you, Copper?
I'm going back to Philadelphia in a week, which is very exciting. And I'm going to continue making a show with my ensemble there around the pandemic, which is also timely.
Wonderful. What about you, Miss Boyticki?
Well, as we discussed last time we spoke, I'm working on the Colored Girls project with a number of women and making sure that I can also get a film version as well as prepare groundwork for a live version going into the future. I'm also teaching and, just trying to make sense of this world.
Understood. Darielle, what about yourself?
I'm going to keep teaching in my backyard, and I would love to have another student showcase at some point this year. I'm going to keep blogging, and I'm looking forward to filming a short film later this year. I'm getting into acting as well, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too, because you are quite a writer, by the way. So yes. And where can we read your blogs?
On my website.
All right, I'm going to put her website in the show notes. Yes, because I want you are quite a writer, and you're a good interview too. I've been watching you. Don't get mad at me, Stiletto. And speaking of Miss Stiletto, so what's next for you other than what you already have going on, which is everything?
I'm just going to continue on. The Live Like an Acrobat podcast is, continue with interviewing these incredible artists that I have come to know and that I have known, and sharing their stories in the best way that I can, that I hope is respectful to them. I'm continuing with the Think Like an Acrobat series, which is trying to produce professional pro tips for the industry to get you through this time and beyond, so that you have a circus education that is business-minded, and so that you can continue to project yourself as a creative that knows how to take care of yourself as a business entrepreneur. I like to call it circuspreneur. That is my blog, circuspreneurblog.com. Thank you so much again. And I'm teaching hand balancing through Circo. And I teach privates as well. And yes, and continuing, as the lovely Susan said, to make sense of these beautiful times and staying balanced and staying grounded and hopefully showing up to the best of my ability for our community. And I feel so much love here, and I'm so excited. This is such a fun gathering. Again, I'm so grateful, and this is just a celebration of more good things to come. But I know that everyone's going to really love this showcase, and we're so excited and inspired about it. So thank you again, Jonathan, for having us here today and for lifting us up. So thank you, and thank you, Veronica.
Oh no, this is all selfish for me. I mean, please. I'd do this every day if I could. Miss Blair, producer extraordinaire, aerialist. I just love how many hats you wear. You all wear multiple hats, and you have to. I mean, and that's sort of the tradition anyway. We've always had to wear these multiple hats. Tell me, what do you have in the works next?
Oh my gosh. Just keeping in shape as much as possible. Working on the straps. That's what I'm doing personally as an artist. Definitely sticking to more the production side. I'm working as a consultant and circus researcher on a project. And also, I'm really energized to do more collaborations like this one, like in the near future. So somebody might get a call from me, like hey, can we do this thing that I have in my head? But I guess for me, it's like Shanae said, more of the same, but not being afraid and allowing myself to venture off into directing and doing more behind the scene things. Because for me, realizing throughout the pandemic, I love to be in the creative, anything where I'm able to create something or collaborate with someone in a safe environment. That's my jam. So I'm just trying to do more of that.
This is going to be fun for me. I mean, I've always dreamed of doing this my whole career, of introducing and outroing fantastic Black artists. And I'm going to do it here on my doggone show, doggone it, right here. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, thank you, thank you, thank you. She is Copper Santiago, Dario Williams, Susan Wojcicki, Shanae Stiletto, and the wonderful Veronica Blair. They are the cast of The Crown. Summer Lacey, she's in it too.
Yes, Summer, we love you.
Spirit of Marilyn calling me, audibly bawling. She said that she would never leave, continued to torture me, telling me to come with her underneath my comforter. And she brought a gun with her, pills and some rum with her. Tipped me on the balcony, telling me to jump with her. Yeah, I'm in the ghost, but I ain't doing stunts with her. I ain't trying to be that, haters wanna see that, but I got 'em Aggie, cause I win the gold like Gabby.
The Black experience in circuses go back hundreds of years, and we do it with our own style. The circus has been a microcosm of the outside world. Many of the same prejudices that you see in the outside world are present in the circus.
So it's moving past the vision or the limited vision that the society has for you and stepping into the talent and skill that you know you have to go forward as a performer.
The circus is a vast international community, and there's only one place to connect for jobs, events, the latest news, and so much more. circustalk.com. Join today.